Welcome, of course, for another fantastic season here in the 2025 of the Tanso Racing Group. We are here, presented by the Clark Street James GT3 Season 5 for our promotional race at the Silverstone Circuit. I am Dean Biggles, and joining me is the man from North America, the man from Texas, Mr. Jim Cunningham. How are you?
Doing great, man. It's good to be here. New season, exciting. Starting off at a legendary track, Silverstone. Can't beat it.
Can't beat it. Classic, of course. This is the birthplace as well as Formula One. It used to be called the Mutton Grand Prix back in the day. A couple of rich, jolly old chaps used to throw their little cars around there. One of them hit a mutton, and they elected to call that. Of course, they changed that over the years. But it's a classic track, and it's one of those tracks that everybody likes to have their trophy on the shelf there. G'day, Josh. When does the race KO? I'm not sure. Knockout? I don't want the race to be knocking out at the moment, mate. They're underway.
Kick off. I'm pretty sure it means kick off. Yeah.
You got to throw that lingo up to us old guys up here in the booth. See, and Jim's got the lingo down.
Yeah, and I'm the old guy in the booth. That's the funny part.
Oh, we're both old, mate. Well, very, very soon. We're underway of the qualifying session at the moment. So once we get that done and dusted first, we'll then get over to our race. We've got about 21 or so brave souls to tackle this fantastic circuit of Silverstone.
Yeah, I tell you, these guys are actually turning some pretty decent laps here qualifying. It's going to be a tight battle. They got four guys here running right now. Within a half second of each other. Actually, less than that. Not a quarter of a second of each other. They're laying down some good laps. Classic track. I've never turned a lap here. I've watched this track since I was a kid, but I've never turned a lap at Silverstone.
Well, Craig's about to turn one in for you there, mate. So he's got the fastest first sector. He's coming around the final couple of corners right now. This is Sir Hamilton Straight these days, and he'll bank it across there. What will the time be for Craig? He'll actually stay in the same place. You've got to be careful as well to a little off-track invasion will invalidate your lap. The sun, mate, bang into your eyes. I'll tell you what, if he's wearing VR, that definitely would be a bit punishing trying to turn at 100 to 200 miles an hour around some of these fantastic corners.
And these iRacing GT3s and VR is fantastic.
Yeah, till the sun hits your face.
Yeah, well, that's true, I guess.
Let's see at the moment who's going to put himself back. At the moment, it's Andy White, who's sitting in pit lane, happy with his time of a 2 minute and 61 seconds. We have about 4 drivers currently in the 2 minute range. We'll pull up that information for the screen fee. Are you all out there? You're all out there. See, I've got that little southern draw going. We've got a pro and an AM class there, Jim, as well, so we can separate.
Yes, we do. We do have pro and AMs. That gives some of the newer guys a chance to be competitive amongst themselves, which is nice. You know, you get in some of these. There's some fast guys. They say, they got a couple of fast amateurs in here right now. You got one. It's you get one or you got four amateurs in the top 10 right now. On these qualifying laps as they're turning them off. That's pretty good.
Mr. Jared Love. Now, we had a little bit of a giggle in the green room before, and you could probably let somebody know about this. Let's see if we could find that driver you were referring to and the little story behind it.
Well, there's a driver in this field. His name is Mickey Dolan, and I'm old. And I'm from the United States. And back in the 60s, which was before my time, there was a American band called, I guess they weren't all American, but anyway, they were called the Monkees. And the lead singer for the Monkees was a guy by the name of Mickey Dolenz. And I saw that name and I said, if he's got a Monkees livery on his car, I'm going to die. So he does not have a Monkees livery on his car. No, he doesn't.
There he is at the moment in the Lamborghini. So, yes, maybe he'll surprise you in the upcoming races, mate, there, and throw a bit of a monkey surprise
my
at you.
Guess is, if he's got any age on him at all, he probably got picked on about the monkeys, and so probably the last thing he would ever want to do is have a monkey's livery on his car. It'd be the same as me having a Happy Days livery on mine, which
Well,
that
you are
doesn't mean anything
going
to
back
you.
to the
But
pub.
there was a show.
I know the Happy
Wasn't a bit-
Days, the Fonz.
Okay, well,
Hey.
yes, and
Hey.
my last name is Cunningham, and that was their last
Oh,
name.
that's
so-
right, Richie Cunningham, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yes.
I've been called Richie Cunningham so many times I can't tell you.
Yeah, this is back in the day when you used to take your horse and cart to go to school. I'd imagine
It was.
that, Jim.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's like parents used to say. I had to walk 5 miles to school uphill both ways. Yeah.
Craig
It
is
was
on
a
a bit of a
hor-
rampage. The qualifying session is done dusted, so when he does cross that
There we
line, and he won't, as he's just completely gone off the track and said, no, I didn't quite have enough to get the job done. Tim Reed's pulled over. Harry Hartley Price is out on a flying lap. You can see on the track map coming around the final corner now down Sir Lewis Hamilton Straight. Will he improve? He's in P3 currently at the moment. Start on the second row. Tim Reed. And that is it for our qualifying session for the first time this year for the Tanso Racing Group.
Yeah, they're off to a good start. Like I said, you got 4 amateurs here in what's going to be in the top 10. That's pretty impressive.
Certainly will. This is a promotional race, so there's no points on the count, no points anyway that anybody has currently as you start the new season off, which is, I was just speaking about that. Well, I think we were both speaking about that earlier for the triple bypass racing here on the JP Broadcasting Network, mate, about if your first race of the season it goes a little bit pearl-shaped, it's not too bad, isn't it? Because everybody starts on 0.
Yeah, it's certainly one that it won't kill you like missing or having a bad race at the end of the season, but of course, I'm sure all these guys would love to jump out to a nice lead and get a lot of points right here, especially at Silverstone. It's one of those tracks that's guaranteed to give some of these guys fits today. I was watching some of the practice earlier before we came on the air, and there were a lot of guys struggling, a lot of guys spinning out there.
Lay down the gauntlet for the rest of the field to get yourself a nice little win here at Silverstone. Some of those audience members out there, you can see, you wouldn't last 5 seconds in Australia out there, bloke. Without a hat on, and the Sheilas as well. You're going to get burnt to a crisp in the Australian summer. So,
at this point, I'm just hoping that the dingoes don't chew on your internet wire today.
yeah, I know. Well, I am running on a backup just to let everybody know, so I do apologize that the quality is half down of what it would regularly be, but it's better than absolutely nothing because my main internet's down. I'm on some backup 5G, so I had to sacrifice the quality to get the pictures.
The dingoes attacked him during the night.
That they have. Let's go for the grid this evening there, my friend, for you to go over.
Yes, let's see. Oh, I had that screen minimized. Sorry about that. Yeah, we got on the pole, we got Andy White with a 2 minutes .60. Great time. Tim Reed in second. Harvey Hartley Price. I'm going to struggle with some of these names. In third, Craig Corish in fourth. Buzz Cutting. Jared Love. Dylan Biased Bliss. Phil Giles. And rounding out your top 10, you got Tim Colmore and Sean Clark. In 11th, we got Oscar. This is the one that's going to get me. Subzinski. That's a tough one. Oliver. You'll be Oliver the rest of the day. Scott Kostick. And let's see, rounding out our field. Yeah, I appreciate you laughing at that. I knew you thought that. There's my buddy. Peter Duke. There's Mickey Dolan. And Jordan Hadfield. Mark Wesley. Adrian Hadfield. Barry Evans. Christopher Haynes. Stuart Brarley. Well, I'm going to struggle with some of these names. John Johnson and Peter Woodmore. I apologize to anybody I butchered your name. You feel free to message me and let me know how to pronounce it correctly for next week, and I promise you I'll get it right.
That goes to both of us as well, absolutely. Well, I'm the biggest butcher of drivers' names. Pace cars peeled in. We will have a rolling start for the first race of the season here, the promotional race here at Silverstone, presented by the Clark Street James Company. Eddie White should get the run when it gets the green from the Barney. We should go racing.
Yeah, you can tell you didn't get any sleep last night.
It's early in the morning for me, but nothing like a bit of motor racing to wake you up, mate. Here we go. 3 wide into turn 1, a little bit further back.
Oh, my God. Oh,
and
no.
There it is. It goes a little bit pearl-shaped. That man is Tim Reed already, and 3 into 1, as you know, doesn't quite work out too well. Oh, we got more going around. Whoa.
Oh, my goodness.
That's Jared Love spinning at the moment. Tim Reed's around. We got a lot of action into the earlier middle part. It's a 3 wide as well, 2 at the back there. And once again, it's a little bit more pearl-shaped for some of those drivers. That's Mark Wesley off. That's Christopher Haynes off. Barry Evans, I think, managed to get past. Eddie White still in the lead. And, wow, early days shenanigans, my friend, here at Silverstone.
Yeah, that's a tough start. A lot of these leagues penalize pretty heavy for first corner incidents, too. They want you to get off and get the race going clean, and that was far from anything clean there. That was a mess.
That's a lot of drivers eager, I say, to make too much Christmas pudding. And they're going to get the shake off the cobwebs out of the closet there on that one too, because I guess they're all sort of eager to go racing that they haven't been practicing 3 wide into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, that was, they were awful ambitious. What did Fernando Alonso say? Some of them ran out of ambition before I ran out of talent before they ran out of ambition.
Oh, there's somebody off the track there at the moment. And who was that? Adrian Starrett, I think, as well. So we'll go back and have a look at the replays if we get a chance.
The action's been nonstop so far on this lap. That's quite a first lap.
Certainly entertaining. Scott's on the back there of Peter Duke, trying to put some pressure on him. On the back there of Jordan Hatfield.
Tim Reed and Dylan, they really, and Phil, they suffered pretty badly in that. They all 10, 11 positions down after that first corner incident there.
Now, I know you don't know all the corners of Silverstone.
I don't.
Don't tell the boss man watching at the moment too, because I've forgotten half of them. This is to show you how long ago I haven't been at Silverstone, actually, to broadcast and commentating some races. Oh, Scotty! Wow, he was on the power earlier. I think he almost tagged the back there and turned Peter Duke. He was lucky there. Scotty had to lift at the very last minute. But he's certainly trying to put some pressure on the 177 machine up the road.
Yeah, that was close. But, he managed to keep his foot in it right, and he didn't hit him. That's all that's important.
Somebody's off. That's Adrian. Adrian Hatfield's around. I saw the smoke just as we were looking at the Oliver machine with the surname that we don't want to butcher this evening.
That's right. Subzinski.
Yep, and here he is next to one of the Monkeys band members. We shouldn't do that. Tim Reed's in the background. This is a nice little battle at the moment for P9.
But to be fair to Mickey, the singer's name was Dolans with a Z behind the end. So
there you have it. Well, Mickey at the moment is in that battle there with Tim Reed. Looks like he just got past there. Oliver's just up the road from him, as these drivers are definitely struggling early here at Silverstone to get some traction down. So to get a bit of a weather information as well for you all out there to see. That's a little bit of a lift off. Oliver's just allowed Tim Reed through there, so didn't put up too much of a fight. Elected to be happy to tuck him on and give off to 155. There it is too. So 18 degrees.
Yeah, Tim's down quite a bit after one of those incidents early on. I think he's fast and he's going to march his way back up to the front. I think that Oliver just chose not to hold him up there. There's a time and a place, and that wasn't it.
I like that, exactly. Choose your battles. If you're going to get in the ring and rumble, you got to get the right time to strike, as Scotty's waiting for the right time to strike.
I want to let everyone know that I had no part in that. I did not. That was not a prepared setup.
Oh, we got some sound effects, of course, that we add a little bit of the elements here at the JP Broadcasting Network. Just don't tell the boss, man. It should be fine with that. Give us a thumbs up and a like if you are certainly enjoying the motor racing, and get out there and support, of course, the Tanso Racing Group, and sign up if you'd like to drive a season. It looks like there may still be some places available.
Yeah, actually, in fact, I know for a fact that they are still recruiting, and there are some grid spots left in this and their Sunday GR86 league, which is a very popular and also broadcasted league. So, a couple opportunities to sign up, go racing, and be on a broadcast as well.
There you go, and you could be butchered by both of us if we get your name incorrect. So.
Yes, well, currently I'm not butchering on the Sunday broadcast, so there'll be somebody else there for that.
If it's a regular crew, they're definitely quite good, as we're looking at Scotty completely off the racing line. This is a classic Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Not there, actually. A little bit further. It's actually up there. Top, you can see on the top of the track map. That's just high speed. Everybody loves this. It's coming out of it right now, and you go down the back straight away. I think it's the Wellington straight. I'm really going to butcher the turns again. But that's just a high speed section. So that is so famous that this man's missing a front fender as well. That's Scotty.
Yes, indeed.
But it's so famous that like most of the other Formula One tracks have been designed after. Always try to mimic those corners.
Well, and Silverstone is, I guess, it came into being, I guess, after World War II, because it was an old military airfield, I believe.
Yep, an old World War II airfield. That's when they turned it into a. Well, let's not tear it up and build houses on it. Let's turn it into a racetrack.
They've actually done that, several places. Sebring was an old military airfield in the United States as well.
Most of them in the United Kingdom are old airfields and so forth, and I think that's Adrian Hatfield that's gone around. But we'll keep our eyes peeled here, as we got another Hatfield. That's Peter Duke, Tim Reed battling out Peter Duke, and that's Jordan Hatfield that's up the road. So there's three-way squabble here for P6.
Good little battle there, actually. As James would say, they're having a right nice ding-dong.
Ding-dong, yeah.
That's what
Three wide. Oh, gonna stay off those.
Oh, that was a nice move.
That was beautiful. I thought it was going to absolutely throw the car up into the grandstands, but somehow that thing just glued there from Tim Reed.
Oh, see, you knew he was moving back to the front when Oliver let him by earlier. That right there is a man on a mission. That was a fantastic move. We need to see that again when we get a chance. That was a heck of a move right there.
I don't think we're going to get too much of a chance to go back and look at some of these replays, the way that these guys are throwing these cars around, mate. There's action absolutely everywhere. I hope you're enjoying yourself. ATG 43 was saying about let's go racing, perhaps practice. No, certainly not practice laps of these gentlemen. They're going for it flat out. You just saw some of the fantastic overtaker there from Tim Reed, and it's got Tim Cullymore up the road. That's not Tim and Tim Law Firm. That's two separate drivers, 421 155, McLaren and Porsche.
I think ATG was referring to when we were doing our pre-race, just chatting while the guys were running practice laps. Qualifying laps, and we didn't show the qualifying because of it's hard to follow those guys and they drop off and stuff. So we just usually chat through it and talk a little bit, and I think that's what he was talking about.
Thank you very much for that. Yep, got that one. Tell you what, Andy White's lost the lead to Harry now. Is up 2 places, and so just like that, that's one on Wilton to find that replay as well. But something certainly had happened up the business end of the timesheets, and now Andy White is in that P2 position with Craig a little bit further back to see if he can do anything about taking the HHP, the Harry Hartley Price. That sounds like a law firm name.
That definitely sounds like all in one, his own law firm.
Yes, it does. Well, let's see if he's going to be filing a lawsuit against Andy White if they come together, mate. Says Andy White's battling his way, wants to get back into that P1 position. Mercedes versus McLaren. When was the last time you heard that? Well, tune into Formula One.
Right. A lot in Formula One. Yeah, that's a good little battle right there. Man, I tell you what, I GT3 race a lot. It's probably certainly the most sports car racing I do is GT3s, and I own just about every car. I can't get around in the Mercedes. I am just not fast in that car. That front engine is a different driving style than most of these other cars, and but he sure seems to be doing a fine job of it. Oh, here we go. This is such a
look
nice
at this.
move
They both
right
bunch
here.
up a little bit. Tim doesn't even bother. He's just absolutely pedal to the metal, commits to it. Bold and brave, goes over the ripple strip as well too. Doesn't even throw the car off the track, and bingo, Tim Reed gets a 2-for-1
Man.
special here at Silverstone.
That right there was a fantastic racing move. He anticipated, he knew what those guys were going to do, and he sent it.
Yeah, it's bold and brave as well too. Those two were going a little bit slow out of the exit, and he just kept his foot planted. Yeah, could have easily gone the other way around, mate. Could have as Mickey Doolin is into the kitty litter, but yeah, exactly. If he could have been right up the rear bumper there and having a collision, but you know, you gotta give it. If gap car, the center would say.
Silverstone. The good thing about Silverstone is they've got runoff room here. You know, he could have taken it off track and avoided an accident there. He chose a wide. Oh, Mo, right there.
Peter, stay still.
Is that Wood?
Yep, that's Woodmore. Got to stay still, mate.
yeah,
You're on the
Woodmore,
corner. A
yeah.
couple of cars coming around. You got to be predictable so that they know to go to the left or to the right. He did the right thing. He was almost going to hook
He
it.
did. Well, he probably looked up at his track map to make sure, you know, or his relative, and he realized there
He's
was somebody
parking it.
there.
Don't know why you're parking it for.
Don't why tow there.
Peter?
No, that's a strange tow place. don't
He
think
didn't look
he
like he had any
damaged the
visible
car.
damage in the car, no. And it's too early as well, mate. You've still got to another
Could have been
33
that
minutes
could
of
have been
racing.
out of frustration. That could have been out of frustration. I've done it before, and then I'm like, why did I hit the tow button? You know,
Yeah,
you just
that's
mad at
true. But I
yourself
always
and-
say, you know, you're planning on being here anyway. You know what I mean? You were going to commit your time to do racing, and at that point too, it becomes a nice little bit of practice for you. You know, if you are going to be running at the back of the field, so he's not. There it is, where he's just lost
Yeah,
it.
no, but I mean, just sometimes it's just out of frustration. I've literally hit it, you know, like you would in practice. You darn it, and you hit the button, you know, and then you realize, you know, you did it in the race, and it happens. I mean, when you're that frustrated, I've been there, and I've done exactly that. I'm like, oh, great, now I got a 2-minute tow to think about it. But
Asking you shall receive out there in
that
the
was
chat for
unfortunate.
sure. You want to see the fastest laps? I can show you the best times of the drivers up there right now. That's what we love to do. We do listen,
There you go.
and we do answer your requests out there in the chat, pending that we can do it,
Man.
of course, and that it is legal.
Hartley, Harry Hartley Price right there. That lap is faster than both of those laps are faster than the qualifying pole position.
Well, that's where he's hiding the cookie jar from Grandma. Well,
If I'm not mistaken, the pole lap was 2 minutes 0.60. So both of those laps, White and Harry Hartley Price, both of those laps are faster than a qualifying lap. That's putting it down in a race.
absolutely. That means that they were, I guess, with the limited bit of time they had with a couple of off-track excursions and so forth, for not hooking up the right lap. Now they've waited till the race time to get that done, which is fantastic between drivers. Andy White still keeping HHP honest.
Is there any way that we can figure out what lap they turned that fast lap on in the race?
No, that will be asking a little bit too much of SDK knowledge.
Well, I was
or-
looking at the scoring and timing, and I couldn't find it. I just thought maybe you might know something I don't, which is I'm sure you do. Plenty.
No, all the information
No,
I have, fortunately, is just going to tell you the best lap and current lap time done and so forth. But hey, that's one for the chat out there to keep their eyes peeled. Then again, it will show you if they set the fastest lap on the timing tower when they do it for a brief period of time. So you make a little mental snapshot of that, or write it down, and you'll get an idea of what lap it is that they're on. Well, we're not really showing the
I'm
laps
just
at this
curious,
point 'cause it's a time race, but I can show that too.
I was just curious, mainly because I want to see how many laps they had on their tires when they turned that lap in. You would think it would have been early on in the session, but you know, those tires are going to fall off pretty decently here.
I'll tell you what, what's happening here? There's been a bit of an accident, but is it just me or there's puffs of smoke coming out of the back there of that Porsche of Craig? Something on his tires.
I think that's some kind of debris thing. I think that's with the new iRacing debris. I think that's what it is. He doesn't seem to be off pace or anything.
Peter Duke, unfortunately, has had a moment. Let's go back and have a look at this. I'm not sure if it's a solo incident because I did see a couple of cars that might have had a moment after this or perhaps have been involved. Peter Duke's lost it. Easy to do that. They're coming into the corner and there's an accident, and that's exactly the reason why, Pete, you do not move your car when you're on the racing line. And I think that's Oliver that he's tagged, mate. So Oliver might not be sending you an early Christmas card this year for that. But then again, I think some of these lads are here having fun on a promotional race too.
That same spot right there is where we saw that spin earlier. Apparently that's a really tough corner there. Flat and pretty sharp turn. Probably easy to overcook it in there. And if you got your brake bias set wrong, that rear end will come right around on you.
Tell you what, two good battles that are happening here at the moment. That's Adrian Hatfield there and John Johnson. And that's Adrian just get past as well. Further up the road there, here's Peter Duke. His way back through the field there on Dylan Bliss. Dylan Bliss has lifted off at the moment. That's Oliver going to pits, actually. And Peter Duke heading down into pit lane. Early, perhaps. Interesting. They've elected to go down together. It's not a super speedway, so you're not going to lose a toe.
Maybe he felt like his tires were, maybe he ran his tires a little hard or something, and that's maybe the way he spun. Plus, he had some damage, I think, from that incident earlier.
You can see the puff of tire.
Yeah, I think that's
kicking up.
I think that's some kind of debris thing, like almost like red dirt or something.
Yeah, here we go.
Well, sun's blinding if it catches you.
This is a fantastic track. If you're not absolutely blinded by the sun, exactly, Andy White. That's I'm sure iRacing will work on that still, because remember they just added that debris model fairly recently. So graphically for us up in the broadcast booth, some of those things probably will be adjusted in some updates. Let's hope. A lot of drivers don't even have that turned on, of course, because they want maximum frame rates, and so they turn all the prettiness off most of the time. Let us know if you are a driver out there. If you do. I don't know too many drivers have everything cranked up because, once again, you want the best possible frame rate because, it's all about the driving, not the prettiness per se.
You definitely don't want it skipping around on you when you're driving. Which they will do. They will.
I've got a very expensive computer, mate, like the latest and greatest, just to get this thing to have any decent frame rates in broadcasting with everything turned up. So you can imagine a lot of drivers that spend probably most of their money on the actual racing rigs than they do on getting the latest and greatest processor to make it look pretty. Once again, that's one for chat.
In most of the leagues that I'm in, the guys know the processors and the especially the graphics cards are where it's at.
Yeah, I wish
the guys that run in VR
utilize it, but because they don't really utilize the 40. I got 4090 card and it doesn't do much with iRacing at all. It's as soon as I upgraded my processor that made all the difference. But apparently iRacing is going to be utilizing with a new graphics engine update. They'll be certainly utilizing, so you can get yourself a nice fancy graphics card and actually utilize it with iRacing. It'd be fantastic, especially the new 5000 series that are out as well too when they become cheaper. Battle for P1 to P2 still separated by 7/10.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. They're still within, less than a second apart right there, right on each other's bumper.
There's an overtake there of Sean Clark on Jordan Hatfield. Let's see if we can go back and have a look at that one because we just caught the end of it.
Right in that tricky corner, the hairpin there.
Couldn't get the power down enough there, little gingerly.
Nice,
and Sean did. Jordan, unfortunately, didn't. And
No.
Loses the 7th place back to live pitches.
Yeah, he definitely got the power down coming out of that. It was a nice pass though. Oh, here's our boy Reed. He's up to, where's he at now? He's up to 6th place.
6th place, yep, making his way back up through after that early incident. But he's doing the Winston Churchill, never give up, never surrender. And that's what you'd like to see for the drivers. On lap 10, 25 minutes to go. We expect to see some of those drivers head down to pit road at some point. You would imagine a different racing line. Tim Reed's a little bit more comfortable getting into that apex earlier than the other Tim is up the road. So the battle of the Tims.
Well, you got two different types of cars too. The Porsche is going to require a little bit different line than the McLaren. The Porsche, with that engine slung out there over the back, requires a different style of driving than the McLaren does.
I do get James talking about Porsches. He's some Porsches doing Porsche things. He's not a big fan of Porsche.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it just depends on your style of driving. If you're a smooth driver, Porsches they're fast, and they're not that tough to control. But if you're a little ran a little, yes, he overcooked it there, and Reed got right on by him.
So a Tim eventually overtakes the other Tim. So it's a good day for one of the Tims. Yep. Drivers heading down a pit road. We have Jordan Hatfield, Barry Evans, and Mickey Doolan all in pit lane. Well, here comes Mickey now. So they're getting that scheduled stop over and done with there. Getting himself some nice clean track, puts down some banker laps, and see how it all pans out when the rest of the field head on down to pit road.
Yeah, so I actually lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. But yeah, the Porsche. Yeah, the Porsche, if you're a smooth driver, the car's not that tough. But if you're a jerky driver, you will snappy on the wheel, you'll lose them. I struggle driving the Porsche for that reason. I'm kind of a jerkier driver, and the Porsche does not like that style of driving.
I was going to ask you what car you drove. How's this, Jordan? Adrian Hatfield's come out around Jordan. These are up the road. Look at this. Jordan now, Jared Love, Oliver, John Johnson, and Peter Duke all together on the track. We're talking about some drivers that have come in and out of pit road, some drivers that haven't been in there yet. This is fantastic to see here at Silverstone.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's a heck of a pack right there too. Yeah, personally, I've been driving the McLaren since it came out. I like to drive all of them. I really do. But, the McLaren's been the one I've stuck with for the last, 2 seasons since it came out.
Well, Zach Brown would love to hear that from you, mate.
Yes.
Oh, side by side through there. Get your nose in there. Peter Duke. Tell you what, he's just seizing the opportunity, gets the job done on John Johnson. They're completely committed into the corner, and up the road down from him is Oliver and this nice little battle back here in P11. Now, I've just, James, if you're listening, I've just managed to stretch my screen out enough. I told you mine's got a 40-inch screen, and I can barely see the... Yeah, now I can see who's been at pit road and who hasn't, and I'll show that information up on the time and tower as well. As Jared heads in.
Yeah, so the first car who's been in the pits, I guess, is 12th place, Jordan Love, or Jordan Hatfield, I'm sorry.
Just say first name and last name up there. First name first, first name, last name first. I did that before. I must have changed from the qualifying session into the race so that we got the... So that at least we can separate the Hatfields, of course, that are at there, because we have Adrian and Jordan.
Something that we haven't mentioned, because they've all blended together so nicely. Tim Cullimore is your leading amateur Pro-Am, Pro and an Am. He's the leading amateur driver with Sean Clark, and they're running 6th and 7th together right now, battling for position. That's a nice run for those guys to be up in the top 10 like that. Yeah,
well, it may be 10th and 11th as well too for Adrian and Jordan. That's if Oliver doesn't want to decide to elect to get in between the Hatfield. Not sure if they're related siblings or not. Perhaps somebody will let us know. Look at the exit that Oliver got out of the corner here. And he's going to stick his nose in, like James would say. He'll get chopped off like a plastic surgeon. Bingo! Commits to the corner. And he does split the Hatfields.
That was a nice pass. Yeah, that was a really nice pass. I think he's got Moza on the side of his car too. I'm a big fan of Moza steering wheels and wheelbases.
That's what it is. Okay. Dylan goes in to pit lane and a little puppy on there.
No, it is a puppy.
Is that the... Oh, I'm just trying to see if that's a mystery machine. That's not the...
No, it looks like a
Scooby-Doo,
mystery
does
machine,
it?
but that's not Scooby-Doo though. But that does look like a mystery machine paint job.
Yeah, I can't see. It's
it
certainly
is,
similar. It is. How's that?
Yeah, it is.
My neighbor... my neighbor has a van painted like that.
No,
they do. It's parked just next door. I probably should get a photo and share it on the Discord. Yeah, they do. It's the mystery machine from Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Where are you? He's in the pit lane right now. No, he's not. He's still the pit lane. He should be out of the pit lane. As you can see, this nice, fantastic battle brewing down here. Mickey Dawn, Barry Evans, and Jared Love. That's all squabbling down there, 17th place. Make that 16th because John Johnson's heading pit road and is zooming on by him now.
Yeah, I'm watching.
There he is. Here's the Scooby-Doo machine. He's come out just ahead there of Adrian Hatfield as Andy White, our leader, and Adrian goes around.
Oh, no.
And luckily to turn it, kick the rear end back out, get back on the track. A couple of drivers are coming around the corner now. He commits to the middle there, allows enough space for everybody to go around. This will be interesting to see if Andy White's undercut will pay off, to see if he can get his way past Harry Hartley Price, the HHP machine, because he's been trying, couldn't quite get him on track. Let's see if he can do it in pit road, as the cameras are horrible in pit lane. Apologies about that one. So we'll keep an eye out on the track map as well, too, the number 1 on there. And keep an eye.
They were both running really, really fast lap times, and of course, White had a little bit faster overall, quickest lap of the race, but was not able to catch him and pass him on track. We'll see. This undercut may do the trick, though.
Yeah, if you can't get it done sometimes on the track, you get it done in the pit lane. We'll see what his time was. Andy White slots back out in P6. He has clean air. We'll take that one. Now he's got to put his head down, do those Michael Schumacher fastest laps, and see if he can get him because of the pit lane. He was 14.43 stationary in the pit stops, which is a good time.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty
Adrian
good.
Hatfield will go into pit lane now for his first and final time, hopefully this evening, if he gets into the pit lane. Very, very slow hitting the pit lane speed limit.
See, that's something that that doesn't get factored in a lot. We look at pit stop times, but man, how quick you can get on and off pit road, and how close you can stay to that speed limit, and crossing the line at the proper speed. That gets missed a lot when people talk about pit stops. That's so important. Really
and on top, races are won and lost. Here we go. So, HHP's in. Going to be crucial for him. Let's keep an eye on that. Craig from P2 who now has come in. We got to chop those buildings out there. iRacing, they're covering off the action here. We don't need them. It's not the real world. Let's have a look. This is, as you said, it's crucial for him. Get that pit box. You don't want to be reversed. You don't want to be making a mistake. You can see the car up on its wheels. Let's see. It's going to be right at the front too. So that's the opportunity he's going to have. There it is. I think he spotted his box perfect. Everybody else is in behind him as well, down to Tim Reed. So let's have a look at Andy White. There he is at the moment. Andy White's about to cross the line. And Harry's going to be exiting the pit road now. This is going to be close. I can tell you this right now. Keep an eye on where the exit should be. I think Harry's just up the road, has the job done. Harry's actually just come out behind Tim, who still is yet to get down pit road, so he might get held up a little bit here.
Well, White's not that far behind him. A couple of seconds, actually. The undercut certainly did not work there. It looks like Harry Hartley Price might have got a better overall stop in and out.
Yeah, just to let you know,
But
46 seconds for both of them in overall, and a 14.83 and a 14.43 stationary. But now, this is interesting because Tim is leading the race. He's still yet to get out of pit road, but he doesn't have to. He is going to let him through. But I was just going to say, Tim's done the right thing. He's allowed Harry through on that one. But he didn't have to because he had track position. It's not like it's a blue flag. And I think Andy would have liked Tim. Actually, no. This is the other way around. Tim's still ahead of Harry. So let me get that one incorrect. That must have been another driver that they were putting the lap on. But that's the thing. Tim doesn't have to just yield and let Harry past. He's racing for position. And that will help Andy a little bit further. And I'm sure Andy at the moment is probably on the radio going, tell Tim to hold up Harry as much as possible, please.
yeah, I'm sure he would love to. I'm sure he would love to have that happen.
Tim goes in, but so it ain't going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
Tim's finally going to come in for his pit stop. The last of the drivers to head down pit lane for the first time this season.
You got me on that one. I had to think about it. Yeah, so looks like the intervals, I'm trying to see, about 3 seconds right now.
So you were saying whether or not you think the mean age of some of the drivers here at the Tanso Racing Group are. You know that, well, Sim's got the Scooby Mobile on there, and we know that's a very old series as well, too, probably around the 70s, wasn't it? The old Scooby-Doo cartoon.
Yeah, maybe even, definitely the 70s.
Yeah, that's right, with Shaggy's flared jeans.
Yes, it was definitely around in the 70s, maybe even in the 60s. I'm not sure, but heck, I'm not sure if you know who. Do you know who Speed Racer is?
Yes.
The cartoon Speed Racer?
Yep, that's another early one as well.
Of course, Japanese, that was a Japanese, but that's from the early 60s.
Yeah, I know, and it's been revamped, I think, a couple of times, more modernized.
Well, they did a movie.
They did a movie as well, too. Good movie, good CG.
Yeah, it was not if you're an old Speed Racer fan from back in the day, cartoon wise, it didn't cut it for me. But that's another story. We'll do movie reviews on Wednesday.
Yes, movie reviews with Jim Cunningham later on tonight here on the JP Broadcasting Network. Yeah, that's right. Well, that's only because the drivers have all separated themselves by a second at the moment, so it gives us a little bit of time to talk about Scooby-Doo and Speed Racer and. Right. What you're having for dinner tonight, or had for dinner tonight. It's still early in the morning for me. So I know it's in the evening-ish for you, in your neck of the woods. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right, in your time?
3 o'clock, yeah.
3 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, we... of course, it's evening for the guys doing this race, which I guess is based out of...
almost 9 p.m. in the United Kingdom. We do have Dylan out there. He's in your neck of the woods, mate, and he's just a little bit further down the road. Here he is. Yep, Dylan Bliss, the Scooby-Doo machine. So he's racing it, give or take your time. We don't know what part of the States he's at.
Being an American and he's running the Scooby-Doo livery, I can't help but like him.
Where are we? It says Atlantic under his name, so that's... probably
Atlantic would be the East Coast.
Mm-hmm. So
so that would be an hour ahead of me. So it'd be roughly 4 o'clock-ish there, yeah.
That's right, my friend. Yeah. This close little battle here. Tim Reed.
Actually, I joined. Oh, it is, huh? I joined this league for this very reason and ended up broadcasting it now, so I can't race with them. Because I'm retired. I like to race during the day. And so I like to race with some of these UK leagues because their evening is my mid-afternoon.
That is correct. It's all early in the morning for me. Tim Reed gets past Tim. Carly Moore, as you'd mentioned out there from Josh, saying he's looking good for AM. He certainly is. He is the leader currently at the moment in the AM class. He didn't have to put too much of a fight up there, Tim Reed, of course, because of the fact that they are in the different classes. But of course, nobody really ever likes getting overtaken.
Going on back there too.
Sorry,
Oliver and Sean Clark have closed up the gap between each other a little bit as well.
Here we come, Oliver Soblowski. Let's see if we get that one correct. Soblinsky. Oliver, please let us know after the race how many times we butchered you. Oh, as he manages to save it. I'm picking
Nice
up all the
catch.
drivers today at the moment. That's sorry about
That was
that.
a nice catch by you and by him. That's that Moses steering wheel, by the way. That Moses wheelbase and force feedback is what allowed him to catch that right there.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. Great advertising there. You got to get on board in that one, my friend. Look at that sun. It's once again, if you're driving in VR, that is, I've heard from drivers, that's very, very punishing on you. It's not so bad if you're using your screen setup in VR. John Johnson's head back into pit road, I believe, for the second time here. Maybe chipping out some repairs or maybe under fuel, need some tires. I need to get rid out of these guardrails so I can see the car. Thank you. He's got the TRG logo on the side of that Porsche. And he'll slot back out just ahead there of Christopher Haynes, who's a lap down there. Oh, maybe. There.
Maybe. He got it.
Yeah.
So something I'm looking at here, we talked about him earlier. I was super excited by that pass he made earlier. In fact, early in the year, but I'm going to say Tim Reed's pass earlier in this race is the pass of the year for me so far.
Oh, yes. Good call on that one.
But I mean, it was fantastic. He's kind of stalled out though. He got up to 5th place and he's there and he's he's got a pretty decent gap to catch 4th place. It's he kind of stalled out there. He got back most of his positions, but unfortunately for him, not all of them.
I'm just trying to remember what lap that was on so I could go back and quickly show the replay of that, because Tim's been a lot of overtaking here. I'm counting about 20 events that Tim's overtaken people here this evening, all been overtaken.
I mean, I'm not sure, but it would have probably been maybe around lap 10-ish, probably something like that, 12.
I know he passed Peter Duke around here, but that was a battle that they were brewing. This is the one, actually.
That's it.
Yep, here we go.
Yep.
So,
Pass of the year
absolutely slams it down. Commits at this point to the corner, knowing the two drivers are to the side of him. Doesn't lift. Bingo, job done.
That was so nice. That was so nice.
And there's Tim Reed again with the leader of the AM of Tim Cullenball. Dylan's catching them a little bit down the road there, but a little bit. It's about 23 seconds down the road, actually. Not too much from Harry. HHP still leading this one from Andy White. That's a 2.8 second gap. Craig is more a threat right now, I think, to Andy White than Andy's a threat to Harry.
I would agree with that. Yes, that's and that's the thing. All of a sudden you become the chasee, and all of a sudden you're not the chaser anymore. You start defending, and the guy in front just kind of walks away from you.
That's great. Some people are asking about a replay of the... I'm going to quickly see why we have a bit of a time. This is the very start of the race. Tim Reed was off the track, actually, very early. Yeah. You can see a lot of carnage. I'm going to go back and have a look at that from the start. Thank you very much for reminding us.
He lost 10 spots. He lost 10 spots there in that opening lap incident.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can quickly pull that up on the green flag, because there was a lot of carnage early in this race. This is...
But it looked like he protected his car, though.
Okay, this is the very race start from Harry's perspective, who was in P3 at this point. As you're going to see, 3 wide, 4 wide almost. No, they've elected not to. You'll see the carnage filling up behind here. That's when Tim Reed gets tapped. You'll see a little bit more carnage up the road.
Well, it looked like, if you go back, can you go back on that one more time? It looked like Tim Reed missed a gear or something there.
Yeah, we'll see if we can actually go on board with Tim on
because
this one.
He looked off the pace. They're coming around him on both sides. Like he missed a gear shift or something.
No, that's tagged.
No, watch, before that. Go back to the chopper view. Sorry.
Well, we're on board the cockpit. So... quick if I can get my...
Yeah, but if you look at the chopper view, you'll see he's back a little bit more before that. Sorry.
Yep.
Because he started the race in 2nd place, I believe.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You go right back. Yep, exactly. This is where he starts to lose. I know. I see where you're coming here at the moment.
Yeah,
Yep.
you see? There you
Yep.
go. Watch. See, he's in second, and then all of a sudden, everybody's on the side of him. And,
Yeah. He
it's like,
didn't get the green called too. Well, or he got it a
no.
day late, didn't he? And then he was immediately under the defense.
Yeah, and then he turned down, and he had that car on his inside, which I'm sure he had no idea was there. But overall, I mean, he saved it, and he's gotten back up and gotten competitive after that. But yeah, that's unfortunate because clearly something happened there. He either missed the green flag, or he missed a gear, or stayed in a gear too long and lost his momentum, or something like that.
And that's the rest of the field goes a little bit pearl shaped. We go back to the live pictures. Now, Mickey Dillon's in again. Now, we've got 4 minutes remaining in this race. We'd imagine that last pit stop, but we do have a nice little battle brewing up here between Sean Clark and Peter Duke. Not too far down the road there from Oliver. On top of that, you're just seeing your pictures now. So, scrabbling for 10th place, these gladiators are.
Oh, I just realized he's got the Clark St. James logo.
Mm-hmm. I saw that as well. Yep, fantastic sponsor here, the Clark Street James GT3s.
Yes, I'm sorry, Clark Street James.
Here comes Mickey and Bazza, as we would like to say in Australia. Barry Evans, we call you Bazza, mate, if you're from down under, but you're not. You're from the.
I love all the Australian nicknames you give everybody. It's great.
Oh, if you're Terry, you're a Tazza. If you're Barry, you're a Bazza. If you're Dave, you're Davey. Yeah, there's a lot of
Mickey, Davey.
Mickey, all that. Scotty, for Scott there. I'm just trying to think.
Yep.
Tim, you can't really short that up. Baz Cutting, Craig, Andy. And then after that, if you've got a common name in Australia, they'll generally just come up with some sort of surname slang for you.
Well, that's been mine. So I've been Big Jim since I was about 8 years old. So.
That's right. You told me earlier on yesterday's broadcast that you're like 6 foot what?
6'8".
6'8". He used to play football. I was going to say, you played football or basketball. Any of those would work for you at that height, mate. Jordan Hatfield's in pit road now, so this is a late stop for some drivers. I wonder if they're running out of gas.
I can't imagine that they didn't get enough fuel. Did he make a short stop earlier or something?
Well, a couple
really.
of minutes to go,
No.
just a couple of laps at best, as
Well, let's see what
Mickey
he does
sends it
here.
up the inside there at Bazza.
If he just gets a little splashing gas, maybe he was running out of fuel.
Michael says that the man in the Lambo is flashing his lights like a German businessman on the Autobahn. I've never heard that before, but I love it. Thank you very much for that.
A good one.
I could just imagine. I have been in Germany. I took the trains more than the roads, but I could imagine a German businessman flashing his lights crazy on the Autobahn. For sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to remember that one.
Oh, that's a late send there, my friend
no.
Barry. And tag the side there of Mickey.
Wow.
So that'll actually give up the position there to Adrian Hatfield now. But yeah, let's go back and have a look at that one. Daylight dollar short for Bazza.
I'm not sure what was going on there.
Well, I think he wanted to see. Let's just double check there if the Mickey was a little. Mickey might have caught him off guard there, actually, because Mickey went right out slowed down off the racing line there. Bazza's come in hot, couldn't stop it in time. That, to me, is a racing incident, and I think, if anything, you'd probably want to give that position back to Mickey, but he might have thought that Mickey made the mistake, so he sees the opportunity. I don't know. That's one for Stewart's later on, if they're going to look at that.
They, well, the good thing about this league is they don't have somebody up there penalizing during the race. They've never needed it. So it'll be brought up. I guess they'll file an incident and talk about it, but I'm sure they'll chalk it up to just one of those things. I'm sure neither one of them was intentional. I think, it looked like he got a little wide on the line there, and he just he sent it on in there. You left me a hole. I'm coming.
Yeah, exactly. This might be the last. There's a bit of flashing lights like a German businessman on the auto. That's just Harry, of course, flashing the lights to the other car at the moment to say, get out of my way, please, because I am on the lead and I'm about to blue flag you. Oh, you're about to be shown the blue flag as that's heading into pit road of Barry Evans,
Somebody
actually.
Else? Yeah.
And I think that's just because Harry wants to make sure he gets this one in the bag there and keeps his 1.4 second gap ahead there of Andy White. As he crosses the line, this is close to do another lap or not. This will be the last lap of the race. I couldn't quite see whether or not that was right on it with the timer.
Yeah. It looks like it's still going, though.
Yeah, the timer's stuck at the moment. He's got the triggered out on the timer because it doesn't really know whether or not to continue or not. As you can see, it's a 0 or 1.
That was literally right on the second, yeah.
It was, yeah. It's like a quantum computering timing board, 0 or 1.
Andy White, while we were back there looking at that incident, Andy White's closed that gap up. He's back within a second and a half. I mean, that's not exactly super close for one lap, but that's a lot closer than the 4 seconds he was a couple of laps ago.
I think that's exactly the reason why Harry was flashing his lights big time to get that other driver out of the way, because he knew that Andy White's approaching pretty quickly. But at this point, I should be safe with almost 2 second gap.
Yeah, he's gapping it back out again.
There he goes. He's going to go down the pit lane straight for the GT3s. Actually, in the real life, they would be using those garages, but for some reason, they're using the Formula One configuration here.
Interesting.
But out there in the chat, this is definitely the last lap. I know the timing tower's gone a little haywire, but Peter Duke's gone into pit road. That's strange when some of these drivers are just boxing the absolute last minute. Maybe it is maybe gas, mate. You can't see any other reason why you would.
I can't see any reason why you would box on the last lap unless you are running out of gas. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're missing something, but it's certainly hurting Peter Duke.
Yeah, he's getting himself outside the top 10. Couple more corners to go for this man that's got 2 positions done under there. Gets himself a nice little victory here for the promotional race, sponsored by Clark's
Street he had a good
James.
Run. Good run.
Absolutely. He kept Andy White at bay, those two going. Andy threw the gamble there, tried the undercut, didn't pay off. Harry had him covered there. HHP gets the victory. Congratulations from Andy White. P2, Craig Corish, a little bit further down the road, still kept him in sight there. Will celebrate his final podium, the final podium position with Baz cutting his way around a couple more corners there. Baz, I was getting to that at some point. There you go. He'll finish in that P4 position. Tim Reed, the Tim.
Tim Reed.
Yep, the Tim and Tim law firm. There.
So, Tim Cullimore, our amateur winner tonight that we probably did not talk about enough. I apologize for that, and we will definitely give the amateurs a little more coverage next race. But congratulations to Tim there. That's a good win and pretty convincing win. His closest competitor in his class was 50 seconds behind him.
Yeah, Mr. Clark.
Something like that.
He's still on the track at the moment, hasn't crossed the line yet. Here comes Scooby-Doo, the man Dylan from North America. The only North American driver here gets the job done in P7 there. Scott Krostick will come around and finish in the P8 there in the class. But, of course, there's Sean Clark. So, definitely Tim Cullimore got a big opportunity over Mr. Sean Clark.
Yeah, that was a good run for Tim. That's a huge victory to have a minute.
And Sean Clark would be. I presume this man is the sponsor because I put 2 and 2 together. Clark Street, James. As you see the advertising on the side of the car there, Oliver will finish. I
hope you're right.
Inside the top 10. I mean, hopefully they're shorter. We are right there. We get the little logo on the side there. Thank you very much for being the sponsor of this one.
Yes.
So there you have it, my friend. A few more drivers.
Yeah, that was it.
Their way around.
I mean, there was some good racing there, man. Early on, it was crazy. They spread it out a little bit during the middle there a little bit, but it was some fantastic racing earlier. And like I said, Tim Reed, you got my pass of the year so far, man. I love it. That was a great pass. I can't get over that pass.
Yeah, there he is. There's Tim Reed. Good on him. Absolutely fantastic job. I think he got the thumbs up there from the audience too. Certainly, even though he's three positions down after we saw the race start, he certainly fought his way
Yeah.
back up through there and provided some great entertainment for us here.
Yeah, no, he was on a man on a mission, so that was entertaining. Unfortunate, whatever happened to him there, whether he missed a gear or whatever happened.
Cat or dog jumped
yeah,
up on
that's
your lap just
unfortunate.
as the race starts. Things like that happen, don't they? Or a
Could
dingo.
have happened, yeah. Dingo came in, right?
You're welcome, Josh, streaming this. Of course, we'll be streaming a lot more of the Tanso Racing Group this year. Not just myself
indeed.
and Jim. You'll also hear from the other lovely broadcasters and commentators here on the JP Broadcasting Network. We'll see if we can get a little bit of a chin wagon with any of the drivers here of HHP, Andy White or Craig Corish, who finished on the podium this evening.
Did we get anybody to jump in the waiting room yet? Let's see. Probably still out there celebrating at this point.
Getting the champagne.
Yes, well, you know. Yeah, nobody's in the waiting room yet, but we probably can pull them down from the other room. They're in there. I do not see any of them right now.
Oh, we'll give them a second as we go over that. If you
they're probably, like I said, they're probably celebrating.
Final race results for us, please.
Oh, actually, I'm off that screen. Sorry. I'll let you do it this time.
That's right. HHP gets the job done from Andy White, Craig Corish there. Baz Cutting will finish in at P4, 22 seconds down the road, actually. Tim Reed will steal that. We'll get that P5 and probably driver of the day. Tim Cullinghamore will steal the AM victory of the day, 35 seconds down the road from the winner, but certainly a big gap to his nearest competitor. Dylan Bliss, P7. Scott Crosstick, P8. Sean Clark in the other AM will finish in P9 there, ahead of Oliver, Jared Love, Jordan Hatfield, 12th, 13th, Peter Duca, Barry Evans in the 14th place, Stuart, we didn't talk too much there. We'll start Brarely. So I'm going to butcher that one. Adrian Hatfield, Mark Wesley, John Johnson, and the next page over, or further down, of course, Mickey Doohan, Christopher Haynes, Phil Gillis, Peter Woodmore, 18 laps down there. Early retirements for some of those drivers, which we were not quite confused with. Wade retires so early, maybe some technical issues, maybe some dingoes once again showing the internet cable. Before we pull anybody up, Jim, you want to pop in there quickly because a lot of those drivers will be chin wagging together and ask if they'd want to come up for a chat and at least the podium.
Yeah, I can do that. So
I'll keep this.
I'll be right back.
Yep, I'm sending him on a little excursion. Once again, I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. Don't leave just yet. Please give us a like, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you want to stick around just quickly for seeing if any of the drivers want to have a quick chat to us or want to have them depart. I got a text message, I think, from my internet provider saying my other internet may be... it is still out today, so I'm on a backup internet. Whilst we wait to have a chat. If any of the drivers, I'd like to give them a little bit of a breather. If you are drivers out there, you are aware sometimes you might have been having to have a bathroom break and you wanted to quickly jump out of your racing rig and do the relief break. Then come in for a chat. Of course, big thanks and a shout out to Clark Street, James, search and social media advertisers. So hit Mr. Clark up. You want to get yourself noticed and your websites noticed or any of your marketing, social media and so forth. He's going to know all about it. And I tell you what, with the amount of information that's out there, you need to be found. And you call the right people to get the right job.
Actually, I got Tim Reed. He wants to. He's going to come in and join us for a second. So let's pull him in.
Yep. If you want to go ahead, grab Mr. Tim Reed. Have you got the powers of being? I'll give it a shot.
It's not letting me pull him down.
No, I can't either. So
that's interesting.
Yes, I don't think we have the powers of being.
It must be a permission thing. I'll unfortunately maybe they need to go into the waiting room.
Yeah, he probably would need to go in the waiting room for sure if you want to quickly tell him.
Yeah, let me see.
Sorry about that. First race of the season, we've got a couple of little gremlins to sort out. That's to be expected. Josh, Dylan was telling us out there, Josh was holding the brake as hard as I could. Oh, at Josh is talking about that. This is Dylan Bliss, and that's Dylan from the United States. I presume you're on the East Coast there, Dylan, if you are tuning in there. The McLaren 97 drivers, you can see there, finished P7. Whilst we get, there we go. So we've got them in the interview waiting room now, mate. We've got Sean Clark and Tim Reed first. I think we'll grab Tim.
Yep.
All right, Tim, we got it all sorted. Thank you very much for your patience, and thanks for having a chat to us. We're getting excited up here about you probably being the driver of the day with that fantastic overtake. How was your race?
So, yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, it was good, mate. Obviously, I had the incident in the first lap, but after that, it was just damage control and head down and lock in and drive.
So what happened there on the start? Did you were you just a little late on the green, or did you miss a shift, or what happened there?
I normally look at the car on pole and just go when he goes.
Right.
But I just took my eye off for a second and then missed the lights and dropped back a couple of positions there.
Yeah, it looked like in that obviously that caused you the trouble because you had a dive bombing you from both sides there, and that one slipped up on you inside. I'm sure you couldn't see him because he was barely to your fender when you come down there.
I should have.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I maybe should have just hugged the inside a bit more, but it's one of them things, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
watching the replay back now, though, Tim, exactly. So just a couple of places, and then I think because of the speed that you couldn't carry completely into the corner there, you just got turned at the back. But you didn't. You certainly didn't give up, my friend. You had to fight your way back there, and you certainly got a lot of overtakes. There's a little bit carnage up the road too, that as that Scooby-Doo machine and all that go around.
So. And then later, of course, I think it was on around lap 12 or something, you made that insane pass where you stuck it to the inside and just undercut both those guys, jumped the curbing and everything. That was I can't stop talking about it. That was a fantastic pass.
Yeah, that was through cops, yeah?
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah, I don't know. I let off coming into it. Just a bit of fuel saving because I thought those two maybe were going to have a little battle. But then when I got the traction and I just seen the gap, I just went for it and it paid off.
Oh, it did it. That was a really nice move there. And you know, the thing is you didn't really put your car at risk there because you had runoff room in the event they come down on you. So you were good. That was a great pass, man. I enjoyed it. And you definitely put on a show for us tonight, moving back up through the field there. Unfortunate that happened to you, but you definitely gave us some good moments watching you come back up. Yeah,
thanks for broadcasting.
Yes, we love it. We'll be here with you all season, man. I appreciate you coming in and chatting with us for a second. And anybody you want to shout out to before we get off here?
Just Sean for putting it on. It's good to see. Good to see how many people have now joined.
Yeah, it's a good turnout for the first race, and I'm sure it'll get better as well. So, All right, man. Thanks for joining us again.
Spot on, fellas. Cheers.
Yep. That's Tim Reed, who fought his way back up to finish in P5. Let's speak to the man that put the show on, and we're going to pull the man that put the show on in at the moment there, Sean Clark. Thank you very much. For the Clark Street James marketing, right? Search engine optimization, of course, social media and all that, right there, Sean?
Yeah, Clark's and James. Yeah, we do social media advertising and stuff. So it's a pleasure to sponsor this season yet again.
How was your race there, Sean? You ended up finishing in P9, second in the class.
For me, that was an achievement and a half. I'm not the fastest guy out there, but I had been practicing hard for this one, even though it was the opening promo race. Really, really enjoyed it. Good couple of battles, especially with Jordan Hadfield for a little while, and managed to get past him, and then he lost it, which left me with a big old gap then. But there was no catching Tim out front by about 18 seconds or more. And he did really, really well, leading all the way from the beginning in AMS, I think.
Yeah, he had a fantastic race. He was super fast. He was right up there battling for fifth place with the pros. That was a great run from him. But a great run from you tonight. Like you said, you feel like you had a good accomplishment there, and you did.
Yeah, I mean, the trick was just basically no incidents really. Managed to avoid Mickey Dolan when he went sideways, right in front of me, and managed to make my way around him. I think that was in turn 3 at one point. There it is.
Yep, we called it. I was looking for it, mate. Yeah. Code Brown for Sean Clark on that one, but very good.
Yeah, basically, I'm on a single screen, so that corner to me is blind, and I'm listening to the spotter. But obviously, it was very last minute to say someone had gone, and just hammered on the brakes and made it round. Luckily, like, he also was very polite, and rather than rolling off the back of the track, he went the right way for me. Anyway, I don't know whether anyone else got caught. So yeah, that was the hairiest moment out there, really. Other than that, it was just a case of staying focused. 45 minutes round Silverstone is not an easy task for a lowly sort of sub 1500 I rating driver, really.
Oh, yeah, so that's about the par of everybody, so it makes it pretty fair there, of course, plus with the split of the pros and AMs. I wanted to ask you about the fuel situation, because we did notice a lot of drivers coming very, very late in the dying stages of the race. We weren't quite sure. How was the fuel situation for you?
Yeah, so I was tight, but I did get the fuel right. I had about half a lap left when I finished, but I noticed in front of me, I can't recall who it was now, but it was one of the pro drivers in front of me dived into the pits literally on the last lap, and it was potentially close, especially if you weren't if you were battling, if you were going to be using a lot of fuel. So first race of the season, and being a promo race, they probably didn't practice too much, and I was surprised really as well, because it's not like we had it's a pretty short warm-up lap. It's not a full lap or anything, so you're not wasting any fuel anywhere. But it was pretty much foot to the floor most of the race, so there wasn't sort of any slow bits and lots of traffic, not that I noticed anyway.
Yeah, the field spread out pretty good bit. But it's like you said, first race of the new season. People are getting their fuel calculations worked out, and we got some new cars out there with the
Yes.
Acura. All of that, and people changing cars. You don't necessarily know the fuel burn on some of the new ones, and like you said, maybe don't practice because of the promo situation, but. Overall, it's definitely a learning experience, and several of you guys had a really good run, something to build on for the season for sure.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the season starting officially next week. Should be good. Daytona, so everyone should have had plenty of practice.
Oh yeah, after the 24
no excuses
hour.
with
you mean
with the Raw.
Yeah.
You got 24 hour. Most of the guys will be running in teams for either the Raw or be running the Raw or the 24 hour, and I think a lot of the minor series are also running Daytona on the officials. So
I thought you'd be sick of Daytona, mate, not wanting to even see the track after this weekend.
I don't know. Can you get sick of Daytona? I think it's awesome. I think it's really nice.
Yeah,
but,
true.
It's it's one of those. I like Daytona because you get a nice bit of a rest going around the banking, and then you got the tricky bits to deal with as well. So it's a nice little mix. Whereas Silverstone is, apart from the long back straight, there's no rest at Silverstone. It's
all tricky bits.
Yeah, definitely, and maggots and Beckett's. Oh my good god!
Hey Jim, at least they turn right.
There you go.
Not just left, okay? Like you guys in the States.
You might be shocked to know that we have road racing in America as well.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
including Daytona. As far as
Probably IMSA's probably.
What do
the
you
best,
reckon, Sean?
where it's going.
How about we throw Talladega in the mix here for the GT3s and
Talent-
see how everybody goes?
You see, you would get me. I love Talladega. I think it's brilliant. Yeah, you're not going to get much of an anti-US thing here. I love dirt racing. So I'm not so good at ovals, but I really love. Put me in a rookie car in the dirt, and it's great fun. Just great
Oh,
fun.
there you go. Yeah. No, it's great to see some support for that dirt racing. It is fun. Dirt racing is a blast. If you ever get the chance to attend a dirt event in person, you have to do it.
Well, over here in the UK, we have our equivalent is banger racing on dirt, where you're actually allowed to hit each other.
Oh yeah, I know that one. You told me we have that in Australia as well. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
we don't.
the stuff in America, they pretty much, they may not be allowed to do it, but they definitely hit each other all the time. And then there's usually a good fight or two in the pits on top of it. So
Yeah. Jim knows. He was back in the day, you know, with bottles of moonshine in the back of his car, trying to get away from the coppers.
What was me? Yeah.
But all of the different series is just great because they teach you a little bit about everything and dirt especially. You know, if you're driving the Porsche on a with low downforce, you need to be using your braking accelerator properly, just like you do in dirt, to get around those corners.
Right.
So you take a little bit from one and use it for another.
It'll definitely help teach you car control.
Yep, that's for sure. That's for sure.
All right. Well, anybody you want to shout out to besides the wonderful sponsor of this race?
By the way, I do apologize. I think we kind of put two and two together at the end of that when we realized when we were seeing the livery of your car and then realizing that, Clark Street James is the sponsor of this one. So we thought, okay, that must be the sponsor there, the behind the event.
So. No worries at all. No worries. It's Clark St. James. We just worked with JT, John Johnson, who set up the league to get the GT side going, and I help him run it. So shout out to JT, because without him setting this up many years ago, it wouldn't exist. And he does a great job himself on the GR86s. But I'm not interested in that little Tonka toy. So we'll stick with the GT3s.
Thank you,
Sean
Clark.
We appreciate it and look forward to, we'll talk to you. We're going to be here all season, so we'll have plenty of opportunities to talk along the way.
Yeah, we'll do. I'll see if I can get on the podium again. Give me an excuse to get in the interview room.
Yes.
All right.
Good job.
Cheers,
job
guys.
tonight.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Bye.
I think that'll be a wrap. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Of course, HPP, congratulations on your promotional race at Silverstone. Still a little trophy you put up on your cabinet anyway, because you've got the job done. You managed to get beat Andy White, and I'm kind of suspecting there, Jim, that there'll be more to come from those two.
Oh, I'm sure.
Wonder if they're going to get the old boxing gloves out and things like that. It's more friendly
what,
rival, let's say.
I think Tim Reed's going to be right there in that mix too. He was fast.
True.
He just unfortunately had that little incident. I think he's going to be running right up there with them all season too. It's going to be fun.
Excellent. I got to hook up my backup internet to get my father on his internet, my brother as well, too, because they're all going. The internet's down, so I need to hook it up for them. Thank you, Jim. Looking forward to working you in the booth again next week for more action.
See you next week.
Take care, everybody. Good night.